Hello everyone, my name is Andrew and welcome back to the Coin Channel. I am super excited to make this video. So yesterday I ended up stopping at my local coin shop because we were going to be selling a little bit of jewelry and we wanted to compare prices with a nearby recommended dealer from the coin shop I usually go to. But we wanted to see how much they'd give us for some of this gold jewelry that we ended up selling. And yeah, I, as always, checked the foreign coin section, and my goodness, did I score huge. So, as you all know, at my local coin shop, any world coins that are in the box are 10 for $1. I always like to take a look and see if I can spot any Canadian coinage from at least quarter in value or higher, as well as any older coins as well that struck me as something interesting. And man, was I lucky, because I ended up coming right when they were filling the buckets with brand new Canadian coins. And as you can see, a full roll of Canadian quarters was literally just dropped right in that bucket. They're like, here's some Canadians. And they just gave me a bunch of coins. And these are all nickel coins, so none of them have any value outside of their face value in Canada. But I ended up picking up a total of 46 Canadian quarters for only $4.60. That is well over $10 of coin, about $11.50. And I am so excited. There was even one that was a Mountie. It was just a special commemorative coin for the 100 years since the beginning of the RCMP, I'm guessing. But yeah, really cool. So yeah, I ended up getting a huge profit just based on coins. I mean, each coin is worth about 19 cents US and I only paid 10 cents for it. So I'm really happy. On top of that, I ended up picking up a 100 yen Japanese coin, which is already a buck, roughly 90 or 150 yen to $1 roughly. So really happy. And of course, I ended up picking up 3 of these reeded 10 yen coins, and one of them is a semi-key date, so that is worth a little more than face. So I'm really happy about that. So that's cool. And on top of that, since I had some spending money pretty much after making a nice profit, I also ended up picking up 3 really nice coins here. So I ended up finding a 1939 Canadian nickel, with King George VI on it, as well as a King George V nickel as well. You could see on the back there, 5 cents. Super cool. Almost reminds me of like a pop bottle cap design or something. I did end up finding a old small cent. Take a look at that. King George V, 1920. Beautiful. Canadian 1 cent piece. Really happy about that. And that's got to be probably my #1 favorite. I love the toning on it. It's beautiful. And on top of that, some other good news. So a long time ago, and I still do a little bit of collecting, but one of my other side hobbies is collecting electronic scrap and separating out the stuff for all of their precious metals, because having an interest in gold and silver and platinum and all the other special metals, as well as being a chemist and learning about the ways to extract precious metals from, you know, everything I find, I also collect circuit boards like this. As you can see, these are just all junk circuit boards, but they all have a little bit of value on them. That little black rectangle there is an IC chip integrated circuit. It's basically provides some of the brain power for whatever device it's connected to. And what's nice about these is that inside that chip, which is that big black rectangle there, There are very, very small, very fine gold wires that connect the pins to the center actual little silicon chip in the middle. Those are all pure gold. The whole idea is collecting in bulk, so you want to save a ton, and over time you'll collect a decent amount, and from there you have enough to process or send off or sell for some money, because I also do scrapping. So you can see some wires here. You can also see that little, almost looks like a cylinder there. That is a crystal oscillator. It maintains voltage of a device, so can use it for like timing. So like quartz clocks actually have quartz crystal. So it's basically a slab of quartz, the actual mineral, coated with silver, as well as silver wires, but sometimes they have gold in them, which is always a plus. You just don't know until you open it up. And just looking at all these guys, they all have some kind of value to them. Like for example, this little block here is phone connector. Those are gold plated pins. Now the plating is very thin, it's almost nothing. Like for example, this little antenna here is gold plated. But what I'm trying to get at is, yeah, there's a little bit of precious metals in electronics, and I just love the idea of maybe one day processing them with some of my chemistry skills and seeing what I can get. So, one thing I'm trying to get at is, when I was at the coin shop, I knew that they also dealt with silver, so I wanted to ask if they could test something for me. And a long time ago, my local Baptist church was upgrading their organ, and I found a lot of these guys here. You can see these little pins here. And because this organ was worn out, it was out in the rain, just this big control box, there's tons of these little guys that are all attached to a bunch of wire. And I found probably several dozen, close to maybe 30 or 40 of these little blocks. And I noticed that they were attached to some kind of silver looking little, almost like a bus bar of some kind of silver bar. And just from the color of it, it looked quite silvery. And it's going to be very hard to focus on these because, well, it's very small. But it's got that kind of metallic gray color. Things that look metallic like that are usually made of nickel or some kind of metal that will stick to a magnet, because even nickel will stick, which I didn't know. Like if we take a look at some of these modern Canadian coins, let's pull out a new one. So this is a coin from 1999. It is made of nickel and it sticks to a magnet. Even though it's not made of steel, when I tried to attach this guy to the magnet, it did not stick. And I was wondering, why didn't it stick? And I was curious, this kind of looks silvery, removing some of the oxidation. That's a beautiful bright white color. And I'm like, is that silver? So I bring it to the coin shop and ask them, hey, can you do testing? I wasn't so sure if they could, but they were like, yeah, we can. And they tested it, and it ended up being sterling, pure sterling silver with trace amounts of gold. And I was so happy because I knew I had tons of them. I had a whole bundle of them from that one organ board. And I thought it was just going to be, like aluminum or some kind of junk scrap metal that I was going to sell for almost nothing. Well, it turns out to be silver. So I realize I'm sitting on a small fortune. Not anything more than maybe $100, but this is something that I did not expect to see. These guys are all for the different notes that the organ can produce, and they kind of go along. They kind of are attached and physically touching this little bar, and they're all lined up. I think I have some old pictures and I'll show them. And attached to that one, there's actually a solenoid here, which a solenoid is just 2 coils of copper. They can generate a current, and that current will end up actually flowing through some wires and come in contact with this little flat bar. And what that will do is it will actually press down on these pins and attach themselves to this wire. Something along the lines of that, I'm not too sure. But those 3 components all have very important functions to make music. So there we go. I'll make this silver adventure a separate video in the future, but I just wanted to educate you all for now and show that sometimes silver can be in the most unexpected places. So I hope you enjoyed, and now let's see what will be our next video. All right, here's something new. See that? That is a picker wheel. We are going to figure out what our next video is going to be. So at the end of every video I make from now on, you'll have a better look as to see what video will come out next. So let's give this wheel a spin and see what comes up. Wow, that was a close one. Metal detecting it is. So keep an eye out for that video coming out next time, and thank you all so much for watching.